Hello there. Before I start the video, excuse me, I've got some information on the computer. I can't find a lot about the old forge that was in Oughtibridge. It did turn into a steelworks in later days, and I think it shut down 70s/80s. So I'll give you a little bit of information that I know. It was originally a mill, and it was built in 1792. It must have then shut down, and that was then restored in 1854 and was known as Grayson's Forge. The water wheel was intact until 1934. However, since it's been removed, the old forge was a substantial water-powered metal working site, one of the large number of sites on the river system of Sheffield, that's the River Don, many of which survived as water power sites well beyond the introduction of steam power. So it was going on well after steam power was evolved. The original forge building has now been turned into a private dwelling, and the newer part of the steelworks and forge grounds has all been demolished, and a new housing estate was built quite a number of years ago. So what I'll do now is I'll show you what I find on the video, and I hope you enjoy it, but that's all the history I can find. Right, we'll see you later. Please enjoy the video. Thank you. Hello, welcome to this second video in this series of Industrial Past Oughtibridge. I'm now past, if you remember the last video we was at Oughtibridge Mill. We're now further down the river, not far. Just across the road is the end of where Oughtibridge Mill used to be, and I'm now at what used to be a weir. It looks like it used to feed Oughtibridge Forge. I haven't got much history on Oughtibridge Forge. I've tried to find some history online, etc. If I do, I'll put some little notes on, but I was struggling, no pictures or anything, so what I'll do is I'll give you a quick look round, and we'll walk down the river and show you what we've got left of the industrial heritage. There's not a lot, but you'll be able to see some bits and bobs. Right, if you want to carry on watching this video, and we'll take you along with us. Right, as you can see here, there's a purpose-built wall, very ornate stonework, etc. And I would surmise that was a weir right across to the other side of the river. You can just see the remnants of the weir on the other side of the river. This would have probably fed water into what was Oughtibridge Forge. As you can see on the other side of the river as well, there's like stone built walls as well. So that must have just kept the river channel right. Right, if you look there, there's some old steel work and that, which probably did like a sluice gate or something like that down there, which then fed water in a controlled method down to the forge, so they could use it as they required it. I'm surmising it drove a water wheel that drove all the machinery as well. Right, so this is the other side of the wall, and if you look carefully you can see where the water was channeled from the weir down to what would have been the forge. Right, I'm now the other side of the wall, and you're studying the channel. So I think over the years this channel's filled up with silt, etc. I think below that would have been where the sluice gate would have been. Tell you something, in its day I bet it was very impressive. Right, so here we are looking at what would have been the weir. Over the years, due to lack of maintenance, etc., it's all washed away downriver and that. In the time I've been here, it's diminished. On this left hand side there was always quite a biggish wall there, but it's all washed away. It's a shame, but like everything else, if you don't maintain it, it falls down. As you can see, there's big blocks in the river, all from the weir. Been lovely to see what it was like all those years ago in 1800s. A last look at the weir area from a bit further back. Yes, as you can see, we've got an island built up now with all the where the water's left all the silt and stones and that. And across the other side of the river you can see the purpose-built wall. So I'm not sure whether there were some workings over that side as well. It's quite interesting when you start looking into these things. It's just amazing the power of the water. This is probably one of the stones from the weir, and it's like 5 foot long, 2 foot thick. By 3 foot deep. Unbelievable how the water moves stones like that. As you can see, the wall's still holding up to the power of the water on that side of the river. This is all the stones that's been carried down. I'll say on the riverbank here we've got some locally made bricks. Reddish at Bayton and Keyworth Wadsley Bridge. So there was quite a number of brickworks around this area as well. Right, so I think maybe this area the wall's been washed away with the power of the water, but as you say, back up there it's looking quite well sturdy, and this is all the carry down from the river when it's been in a high flow. There's a lot of brick debris, a lot of it. Right, Oughtibridge has like a canoe club as well, and I think they did set up some like little rapid areas for them to use, but unfortunately due to the strength of the water it's just destroyed them all again. Looks like they've tried to build some more here, but they got the slalom bits and bobs up down there so they can practice going in and out. You can't believe that this, as it is now, there was all this industry in a very, very small village. Right, so I've come away from the river now and I've gone up to where the water channel used to be. It's still got water in it, so it's got a bit of a flow. I can see it moving down that end. Right, so now we're walking down by the river, and in front of us is what used to be Oughtibridge Tissues sports field. It's now used by Oughtibridge or Sheffield Canoe Club, and also it's still used as a football field, but I think it's been taken over privately now. Right, as we walk up to here, we come to some more brick buildings and a little bridge. This little bridge goes over the water feed channel. As you can see there, so that's part of what was it, Oughtibridge Forge. A little channel goes underneath, and there we are looking at the water channel that comes down from the weir from the River Don. Right, so as you can see, this is the football field area, which I think was part of actual Oughtibridge Forge. Over there is all the new housing that was built quite a number of years ago. And now we're a bit further downstream. You can see the walls that were built all those years ago, a bit further down. So those further up the river must have been washed away, and you've got some big stones down in the river there. This must be another little weir area they built for the canoes there. Right, in the last flood we had end of last year, this river was a full width now. It's all got stones washed down. And it's certainly narrowed the river up. Right, so that little stream feeds down from Cliff Woods. There's another factory which does the refactory further up above Oughtibridge called Intermet, and underneath there's a culvert that runs all the way under the factory from one side to the other. And somebody called Patrick Dickinson, who's got a YouTube channel, he explored that tunnel. So what I will do is put a link in the video to his video that he did. He walked through the actual culvert. It's quite interesting actually. Maybe another place I'll do a quick video of up around Cliff Woods, because over that area there were a lot of silica factories, because there was a lot of, like you say, for the steelworks etc. There was a lot of refactory and bricks etc. that were all being built around this area. Right, we'll carry on with the tour around the river. Another brick manufacturer from Grimesthorpe, Colton, Maine. They probably don't make bricks anymore now. Right, so we're just that little bit further down. You can see how much stone and rocks and boulders have been washed down. This used to be all the width across, and it was quite deep, but like I say, it's all been washed down now, and it's just narrowed the river up. I suppose on the next rainstorm or heavy rain, we get more heavy river, it'll just wash the stones around. You still see remnants of the old wall on the other side that's been washed away. Right, so we're nearly to the end of the what probably was part of Oughtibridge Forge. There is some stone steps and that a bit further down, I'll show you, and then we can go into Oughtibridge Park and I'll show you what I think was the outlets from the water channels to Oughtibridge Forge. Trying to keep it steady. Right, so I've zoomed in. Down there is the steps and the wall, and you may be able to just see the water outlet from what used to be the forge. And over to the left hand side is Oughtibridge Park. As you can see down there, we've got some parts of a wall as well. We'll walk back up this park. We'll just go and see whether there's any more hidden treasures hidden in the undergrowth over there. I think there may be, but we'll find out. Right, so here we are back at the culvert. We're the other side of that little bridge we saw earlier on in the video. As you can see, the water's running slowly, so we have got movement. And then the water disappears, so I'm surmising there's some underground channel somewhere that the water goes under the houses. Well, I hope it goes under houses. I'm not sure if you can see, but the actual channel widens in this area, so it must have fed. It's all walled off both sides, so it must have fed different parts of the actual forge. And of course, what else could you call it? Forge Lane. Right, so these would have been the old gates to the forge. I think they were preserved when they built all the houses. Ah, this is exiting, and we're working his way into the centre of Oughtibridge now. Right, so here we are looking back towards what would have been the forge. And back up to where we were earlier on. Right, so here we are at another weir. I think this was to hold the water back for Oughtibridge Forge. Another one that's gradually disappearing over time, as you can see, compared to the other half of it. There's another little outlet over there that come from another mill, which is further up Oughtibridge. That's not there anymore. So there's another water culvert there that goes under the road. This bridge was strengthened probably about 4 or 5 years ago. As you can see, there's part of the weir. It's a shame all these things are getting demolished by the river, lack of maintenance, but industrial history disappearing over the years. Right, here we are in Oughtibridge Park. Beautiful day, very quiet. Lovely little park as well. Right, so here we are at the other side of Forge Lane, on the other side of River Don. We're in Oughtibridge Park now. There's two, what I would say, water inlets because of the angle they go. So they would have fed water to some part of the mill as well. And further down the river, just up the side of the bridge, there's another weir. So who knows? But there's a lot of things hidden underground over there, I think. We've also got the noisy ducks. That one's hidden by a bush. So as you can see, you've got the 3 inlet or outlets very close to each other. So it must have fed some parts of the forge to drive the machinery, etc. And as you can see, there's that little walkway and those steps that lead up. Right, so here we are, the top end of Oughtibridge Park, and that's the football field over there. As you can see, there's remnants of stone walls, etc. over that side. And we go back up to the corner of the river, and there's some stonework, blockwork there. Right, so that's a little walk around what used to be Oughtibridge Forge. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I've got a lot more videos to come up. Excuse the duck behind us. Click that like button and also leave me a comment. I like to read people's comments. Right, so the next video in this series will be down towards Oughtibridge Rolling Mills. It's now just a caravan storage site, But there is some bits and bobs down that way. So what we'll do, we'll take you down there in the next video. Bye for now. Catch you in the next video. Noisy ducks. Eh?